Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wiregrass Haunts. This is your host, Mr. Stan Fikes. I have a great show headed up for you guys tonight. It is just this show is one of our first shows back after our hideous hurricane. We tried to do one last week, but internet just wouldn't allow us to. So this one's back after we had a great event this past weekend. And tonight we have some awesome guests, and I'll bring them in a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you who they are. It's Nathan Levan and Clara Levan from Alabama Paranormal Research, and Frankie and Trish Nichols from Black Warrior Research Team. These guys were at the same event. In fact, they were the guys running the event that we were at, W.E.B.B Paranormal. And guys, it just turned out tremendously awesome. We had a great time. We got to meet a lot of great people, and we helped out a great cause. And you're going to hear us talking about some of that tonight. Let everybody know, Shawn, my co-host, is usually with me. He is currently en route from Atlanta, so he's not able to be with us tonight. But as far as I know, he'll be back next week. But so I wanted to let everybody know that we're on a new network. It's the W.E.B.B Radio Network, and it's just a wonderful thing that we have just come into. And it's kind of by accident, and we moved Wiregrass Haunts over to the W.E.B Radio Network. And also, we have a new show on our network. It's After Hours AM with Joel Sturgis and Eric Olson. We want to welcome them to the W.E.B Radio Network. Those guys, they have actually, their show airs Friday at 9. They have two shows actually. One is a paranormal show and one is a crime mystery type show. So we wanted to welcome them to the network. So, but that's a whole bunch of talk. So now I'm getting ready to bring our guests in, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start. Nathan and Clara Levan, are you there?
Yep, we're here.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, guys. Are y'all doing great this evening?
Man, we are ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear, Nathan. And our next guest is Frankie and Trish Nichols from Black Warrior Research Team. Guys, are you there?
We're here.
We're here.
Hey, are you guys doing okay?
We're great. How are y'all?
I'm blessed. I'm sitting in the nice, cool studio talking to a bunch of my friends. So that's the way I look at it. It's cool. So all four of you, have y'all recuperated from this past weekend?
Almost.
No.
Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm dealing with more sinus crud.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the life of a paranormal investigator.
Absolutely.
We traipse around these abandoned houses with God knows what falling out of ceilings. But you know what? That's what we do and why we do it.
Exactly. That's exactly
And
what
we
I
love
say.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a special person to be able to sit down in the middle of the floor and ask a spirit to move a ball for 3 or 4 hours and get up and leave after the ball doesn't move and be just as content as you were when you sat down.
But the problem is the ball moved on camera.
I know. We tried so hard to get the ball to move and get the spirits to move the ball. I tried to get our guests to do that, and Well, I'm glad y'all seen it move on camera. We didn't see it in the room for sure. So I wanted to talk tonight a little bit about, well, a lot about Cahaba, and the event that took place. But I wanted to start out with Nathan. I want to ask you, how did all this come about with Cahaba, and you were able to move into a spot where you could help them raise funds and just help the whole situation?
Stan, it was kind of a unique situation. When I've been investigating for probably, with this team actively since probably 2009, and we were looking for places that we could go that had not been overly investigated. And I picked up the phone on a Thursday afternoon, and I called, and Linda Derry, who is the state historical archaeologist for Cahaba, answers the phone. And I'm talking to her about, the possibility of investigating, and she's kind of listening to me, and she goes, "You know what?" She said, "We have an event coming up in about 3 weeks." She said, "And we used to have a paranormal team, but we haven't heard from them, and we're afraid that they might not show up this year. Would you be willing to help us out?" Now, at this time, we were supposed to go to Philadelphia to go to Pottstown Elementary School to do a convention up there the same weekend. So I rounded up my guys and my girls, and I said, which would you rather do? And they said, well, we would rather go to Cahaba and see what this is about instead of doing a convention. So we drove down there the next weekend, and we talked to them. And just so happens that their paranormal team didn't show up, and it was kind of just thrown in our laps and says, "Hey, here you go. Here's your thing." And we've been doing this. This next year will be our 4th year coming up.
Wow. Well, it is an awesome place, myself being there as well. I never actually experienced a place like that until we actually went to the town of Cahaba. And it's just, as soon as you drive through the gates, the world changes. Or it does for me.
You just feel the energy around you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's not a bad energy. I mean,
no.
I've been in a lot of situations where, as soon as you walk into or on site of an investigation, you can just sometimes feel that negative or that bad energy. Not at Cahaba. I mean, it just kind of fills you with an anxious joyness, if you know what I mean. I mean, every time I go there, I get that same thing, same feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Clara, can you tell me how you like Cahaba and some of your experiences since you've been there?
Oh, wow. It is probably my favorite place to go because, for one, I mean, you have so many different areas you can go into. I mean, and it's all spread out. Like, it's just, amazing at the history there. And my experiences, wow. How many have I had? Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a hard question. That really is. My favorite experience would be the first year we did it. I mean, we were just literally just thrown in there, but we have the time of our life when we do it. We absolutely love doing it. And the people enjoy it so much that now every time we do the event, when we have a group come in, we ask them, how many of you have been here before? And each year there are more and more of them will raise their hands and let us know, hey, we've been here with y'all before. And it's amazing. It's amazing that they enjoy it so much that they keep coming back year after year.
Kind of makes your job worthwhile. I mean, what
Absolutely.
you're doing. Yeah, and I mean, I know it's a great cause, and we're helping Cahaba itself by doing that. And your paranormal experience that you've been there, have you ever been scared or had anything to jump out at you?
Not scared, but we knew. We went into the slave cemetery one night, and we had some of the ancestors of the people who used to live in the town. They were not paranormal investigators. They had never been on a paranormal investigation except the little mini one that we do with the people during the event. And us who are slightly sensitive could feel some negative energy, and we backed them out. We took them out because we didn't want to take any chance of anybody experiencing anything bad.
Right. I agree with that for sure. So I know you've investigated the slave quarters and that type of thing. So is there any other place at Cahaba, Clara, that you've investigated that you like as good as the slave quarters, or just one that has stood out other than the slave quarters?
I absolutely love the new cemetery. I started out when I was 15 years old going to cemeteries in the middle of the night, and cemeteries are my first love. Mm. So it would absolutely have to be the new cemetery. I absolutely love it.
That's where the Bells are buried, isn't that right?
Yes,
that's correct.
Yeah, that's an interesting story in itself. And in fact, I was reading a book last night that had that in there, and I was thinking, well, that's pretty cool because I've been there and seen these guys' grave and experienced some things myself. I'm gonna bounce back to Nathan. Nathan, is there, since you've been with this event, is there anything that has stuck out as far as the paranormal goes, your experiences or things like that just kind of stuck out to you? Or is it the slave quarters, the cemetery, or just the whole town, or what?
The first year, Stan, we went there, we wanted to get the backstory of some of the supposed paranormal encounters that people had in the cemetery and in the town. And Linda was gracious enough to talk us through some of these. And one story that has stuck out time after time is about a man by the name of Gatson who looked after a young boy whose family was predominantly wealthy in the town. And Gatson never would let the young boy near the water, the confluence of the Cahaba and the Alabama rivers, because of the fact that he was afraid the young man would drown because he had family who had drowned. We were